Okay, so the next stage is to start marking out the neck. So we've got the neck point here, which is 30 inches long, and I've already started marking this one out. What we do is use a template, which we've made for the headstock and for the curve to go into the body of the guitar. So place this at the top end, mark around the headstock, level with the top, which is where the fingerboard's going to be here, and mark along the edge underneath. Then on this ruler I've actually drilled holes through where all the frets are going to be. Probably see it better on this side. 12th fret there, 24th fret there. It's a 23 inch scale, and from that we can see where the 24th fret is going to be. So we place that level with the nut mark there and mark it down just past the 24th fret mark, and draw a line straight across the top here, which is going to be the end of our fingerboard. If we get around to doing up to the 24th fret, we can always cut that back down afterwards, see how it looks on the body of the guitar. Then measuring the depth of the box, we know that from sitting on the plate in the bottom of the box, we've got a line, we put a line across here, which is where the top of the lid will be, which is where it'll be coming out. And using that, we can put the top of this curve against that line, level it up with the fingerboard again, mark the curve at the bottom, and then take the straight edge and join the headstock up with the heel there. From that point we can measure down, and it's the dog walking, measure down 1/8 of an inch for the fingerboard, which will overhang the top of the body, and then we want 1/8 of an inch clearance, and then 1/4 of an inch down to the hole. So we've got the fingerboard 1/8 of an inch thick, floating 1/8 of an inch above the guitar body, and then 1/4 of an inch down through the side, and then that's where our neck will come through to run through the body. So using the mark at the bottom from the heel, we can slide this along further, put another mark and draw a line along the bottom where we want the bottom of the guitar to be, because we usually cut these, make the necks from 1.5 inch piece, and this one I'm using a 2x2 inch piece, which I'll explain why afterwards. So we want 1 inch depth to go through the body, which of course with this one being a tin and having to slide it in from the end, we're going to need to cut out more clearance in the top of it to get it past the pickup and the bracing that we're going to have to put under the bridge. But using that point, we can mark at the end, we can mark 1/2 inch down from there, so we've got a 1/2 inch piece at the end here, because we're going to glue another 1/2 inch section underneath to give it the full strength after we've cut that out, so that we've actually got the strength against the strings. But using that point, we can mark 1 inch in, which is where the tailpiece will sit, 2 inches in, which is where the bridge will be, which is then 23 inches from the nut pointed with the other end. So using those points, we can mark straight across the top where the end of the fingerboard will be. We can mark straight across where the nut is going to be, and like I mentioned before, we're going to want to cut this down to 1.5 inches. But with it being a 4-string, I thought we'd try and make the headstock a little bit fancier by bringing it out to a 2-inch wide headstock. Now this is something that I haven't tried before, so it's going to be a bit of trial and error, but I've taken 1/4 of an inch off each side and run lines right the length down the fingerboard to cut that down after we've cut the main shape out. So from that, I think it's about time to get to the bandsaw. Right, so here's the neck piece roughly cut out. We've taken the sides off to get the headstock wider at the top of this end, and just roughly cut towards the shape for the headstock, back of the neck, and the heel to drop down into the guitar, and of course the fingerboard to overlap on the top. So the next thing to do is going to be to start shaping this, which we will start off with files and belt sander, and yeah, I'll catch up with you when we've got a little bit more done. See you later.